Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the FansToys recorder, the FT-55. This is their take on a very G1-esque blaster, and it looks pretty good. We're going to go through this. We're going to talk about the good and the bad, the plus and the minuses, do some comparisons, but I did get this at Shozy. I'm going to have a link below where you can get yours, and of course, if you could support me with a TH in the reviewer code, I would really appreciate that. But let's go ahead and take a look at this recorder and see what it's all about coming up. Here's the box, and it looks just like a FansToys box. Interesting that it is drawn art versus the actual product, so that's kind of cool right there. Here's the side and the back where you do see the actual product, and you see the included figure. It was funny because I did see on TF Source they were saying that the figure wasn't listed, but it is in here, so pretty cool. The little guy, Rewind, is included. Alright, so here he is, and in typical FansToys fashion, he does look really good. He actually does look a lot like you would expect a blaster to look, and very G1-esque, and very masterpiece. So, let's go ahead and just go top to bottom real quick on this guy. Nice face sculpt, it's pretty good. We're going to compare this to the deformation spaces of the other ones, but it does look pretty solid. They're usually good with their face sculpts. You got some paint on the eyes, the head, the face, all different colors. Getting down into this here, it opens with that button right there, which is pretty cool. And they went with the yellow, and there's going to be an upgrade to this, which I don't know how to swap it out, but there's going to be an upgrade to this for a gold coming in, and then you push that to the back, and then there'll be a feature for that coming soon. This is transparent. It's kind of a smoky, transparent clear, and you can see all the shine and sheen on this guy. It looks good. All that red is painted, that yellow is painted, and then down here I do think that even the gray is painted, and even the legs, it's with different type, like a flat matte paint versus a high gloss, and I love that high gloss. It's nice gloss to it, looks pretty good. And then down here, I think this is possibly painted, or it's just different color plastic pieces put in there, but it's got a nice sheen to it. Yeah, it's definitely paint. And then getting down to the lower section, we have kind of a metallic red down here on these pieces in here, and some paint on this right there. Good looking figure overall, and then from behind he does look clean. Yes, he does look very clean from behind, but right now just kind of messing with him, I am kind of feeling like he's a little bit of wobbly, and I know the heel spurs are right here, and they are, I don't know, it's kind of just strange. It just feels like you got to mess with this a bit to get them stable, but you can get them stable, but you got to mess with that. That's a little strange for me. Some quick articulation, head side to side, up that much, down not much, but also on the neck area, it does kind of look a little bit cluttered, like a whole bunch of stuff comes together on the neck, and then the way it transforms, there's part of why it is like that, but it looks okay straight on from the top, just looks a little weird. But getting into the shoulders, you do have the 360, and you can hear that ratchet, and it goes all the way out to here, which is fine. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, so you can get some great poses out of it with a little bit of paint right there. Hands are solid, and it's nice to feel some solid hands after having a couple of run-ins with some weak hands. This is pretty nice. They can do all of this. They don't display, but there are 1, 2, 3 points of articulation on each finger, and an in and out, and all of that kind of stuff. Then ab crunch is, it doesn't really it feels like it's just loose, like it's not really an intended ab crunch, but it's there. And then you have the sort of the waist swivel at that point also. Then you can get this here with a way past the 90, but only back to there, which in reality that's pretty much all you need. You don't need to go too far back. He's out on friction only, but it supports that really heavy leg. All right, anyway, thigh swivel, double jointed knee, and this one is really tight. Like this joint, I don't even want to do it too much, but there it goes. Double jointed. There it went at the end. It helped. Anyhow, so that was pretty good there. And then, let's see, thigh swivel. Then the feet, and I think the feet are kind of a weak point on this guy, unless I'm doing something wrong and I figure something out, but you have this going on right here, and then there's the heel spur, but he sits too far back. But anyway, decent articulation. It's not over the moon articulation, it's just sort of minimal for what's going on today. So getting into some of the accessories, he does have this gun. It's a very quintessential gun. It's a much smaller version than what came with the original G1, and I just so used to that one being so big, seeing this a little smaller. It's just the way it looks, I guess. So it's got looks like it's painted, so but no accents on it or anything. Really, it's just one color monochrome. Then we have this beautiful vac metallized speakers. We got 2 of them, and they go on his hands. You just clip right over them, and it looks fantastic. And yeah, it just kind of slides over it, which is kind of cool the way they do that. I like it when you make stuff easy. Don't make it hard, make it easy. But yeah, that works. You get 2, you can do 1 on each hand. The next accessory or accessories is that he does come with multiple head options. So 4 additional heads. He's got these 2, and I don't know, they both look like kind of both smug smiling faces. Then we have like a happy and an angry face. Happy and an angry face. And how you put those on is I've already kind of pre-opened it, but you split the head like this, and you can actually remove the head too, like so, if you want to put the other head on. And then anyway, with that you can pop this out and then put in the new head. And you don't have to take it off, obviously. I just did that to kind of show how it would remove and put the new head on there and all that kind of stuff. So he's got a little bit of a smile, a smirk to him, and that's kind of nice. I think I will leave that one on there, and I'm a fan of just picking my favorite one and leaving it on there, and then pulling out of the bag. Here we have the other head. Now this is the toy version head, so as you can see, it would open the same way, but that's how that looks. Pretty nice. I like it when they include entire extra heads, and so with that, kudos. His last accessory is the rewind cassette. I think they call them fast forward or something along those lines, but anyhow, you can just pull it out of this cassette holder. And this is what he looks like. I haven't had much luck with these cassettes for the simple fact that they just seem to scrape the paint. So I'm going to be real careful not to scrape the paint on this guy. And then we're going to pop this open and slide this in, and it goes into here, and that you would close that up. I'm not going to mess with it because I don't really care so much. But if you push this button on the back, you can put, I think, 2 in there, but that button on the back will make the chest pop open to go to just 1, I guess, to push the back ones forward, all that kind of stuff. Same thing we did with Soundwave, and this is the set. Let's see what he looks like in bot mode. Okay, so transforming the accessory, we do need to fold these chest flaps over, because that is how that's going to work without chipping the paint on that. And then we're going to fold the legs down, which is very reminiscent of the original G1 version. And then the feet come down and around. Down and around. Down and around. Yeah, like that. And then there's the feet. Same thing on this side here. It'd be simple to just bring it down. I guess go way to the front, flip it around. And that's the easiest and bestest way to do it. Then you can pop up his waist piece, make him a little bit taller. I think that's something that people forgot on the first go around, to pop up the waist piece. And this pulls up and then over. The other one just did it on its own, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. And then the hands, real simple transformation. There's no need to reinvent the wheel with these guys. It's fine the way it is. I really am glad that they're not trying to go super, pull that part out there, super crazy with this transformation. So pretty nice. They save the craziness for the big butt. Now there's going to be some gappiness to it, but we'll take a look at that too. So here he is in his bot mode. Simple, straightforward transformation. And then let's get his gun out, and it's a beautiful vac metallized chrome, kind of like a Copper Kid for Silverhawk's color. Let me get that in his hand and we'll take a look at him. Alright, so looking at him, he does look really good. He's painted, all the black is painted. Of course, the goldish yellow is painted, his face is painted. And so he looks good. It looks very premium, looks and feels premium. It's got a little side to side, a little up on the head, and you can do all that with the arm. Shoulder goes out to here. And so there's some going on with him. I'll slide that back down. You do have I guess it's only going up and down. I thought there was some sort of a movement. You just have to do what you can with that then, I guess. And then the hands, they just go in and out, I guess. So, I mean, not a whole lot of articulation, no waist swivel that I feel. And then that goes to past the 90 and way back. And then that does have all kinds of stuff you can do on the leg. And then for transformation 90 at the knee, and of course everything that we saw we could do with the foot. And from the back, now I did want to show, I don't think I showed this, but when you transform it, this is up in that mode, in the tape mode, and then you need to push it down, but it's automatically, I just, by touching it, they fell down, so fell into place. But you see the gappiness in the back, and that doesn't bother me at all, because he looks so good from the front, and it's a simple, relatively simple transformation, and he's an accessory, basically. His accessory is a gun, and it does transform. You can fold this in and fold the handle in, and then you can tuck it back in here in this gap when you transform it. If that's something that you want to do, that's an option. I don't really mind. I'm actually just going to leave him in bot mode forever, so it doesn't bother me, but it's cool inclusion if you want to do that. All right, so for comparison of this little guy here, this is the KFC version, which I think looks really good, and I thought it was a decent version back in the day. I do like how FansToys is a bit taller, even though they're starting from the same size, pretty much. And then this is the G1, of course. The G1 is just where it all started, and I don't know where my paint went. That's all over the chest. There's no paint on the chest, but that's where we started and where we're going, or where we are now. Where are we going? And here he is with more of the KFC cassettes. Now, I want to say, people want to talk a lot of trash about the KFC cassettes, and I understand that, but I don't really care because I thought they were okay. And the thing is, we've had them for 6 years, 7 years, whatever, but these look alright. I'm sure what we're getting from FansToys is going to be better than these, and of course what we're getting from MMC is just amazing, but we've had these, and they weren't horrible. I don't care what anyone says, they weren't horrible, they were okay. Alright, so here we go with the deformation space comparison, and I think that's what most people are looking at right now. The deformation space looks to be a bit taller than the FansToys, which is a surprise, but I guess maybe it shouldn't be because their Seekers were so much taller than Takara, but FansToys usually runs a little taller than Takara too, so this is how they both look with the FansToys cassette there, their rewind or their fast forward or whatever. But looking at these side by side, you do see the difference in the paint. And they're going for different things. This one does look tuned, and the more I look at this one, I do see the cartoon in it more than I see in FansToys. And FansToys with this one, I thought they were both going to be like super cartoon, and they look exactly like the cartoon, and they look almost the same. But this does look a little bit more like a cross between the cartoon and the real world. This still looks like it's full-on cartoon, has that bigger gun with it. But I have to say there's things that each do better. I like the shoulders are a little bit higher on this, so it looks more accurate than it's kind of low, and I can't figure out how to get those up any higher. And I love the paint and presentation over here. I think I like the face a little better over here. I don't know why, but FansToys' face isn't horrible. I'm just saying I think I like this a little bit better. I like the smooth forehead. I don't like this thing they've got in the forehead there. But past that, looking down, there's just here and there slight differences. Not that big of a deal. I think they're both equally clean from the back. There's a few things you can nitpick, like this is a little cleaner on the elbow area and in this area here. And so how the joints are done and the hardware that was put in to have a slightly cleaner back is something FansToys did do. And then a couple of just minor things that you look and you say, well, that's a nice touch. And just like the hinge is gray right there, but this hinge shows through as black or charcoal or whatever, so it kind of breaks that section up as to where FansToys keeps it. But those are a couple of things that FansToys did a little bit better, but this one did a few things better too. I'm going to run through some quick side-by-side comparisons, just some random stuff here. And so looking at this guy, this one's painted. This is just shiny plastic with maybe an overcoat, but looking at them side by side, they look about the same presentation-wise with that type of paint. So it almost looks like this has this level of paint on it, even though we know that's not really paint, but that looks good, and they look good together, or maybe against each other. So here he is next to the MP44 right here. It's a KO, and then this is the Magic Square 2.0 Prime, which is definitely still growing on me. I'm just loving how that looks, but right in the center there, he is a little shorter. Recorder from FansToys is a little bit shorter than the Primes, and I still think it looks good though. So I think that it's a good fit, and I'm okay with the scale. And here is FansToys Tesla and the Ultra Magus from Takara. That's how they scale. Getting some movie stuff going on here. And of course you have to do a comparison to the Robot Paradise Acoustic Wave or FansToys Acoustic Wave, which the FansToys Acoustic Wave is fantastic. And this looks pretty good. I kind of feel like this looks better, in my opinion. You see the shoulders are up higher, just the whole silhouette, than kind of what's going on here. But it still doesn't look bad. And I almost forgot the G1 comparison, but this is where it started. Look at that ginormous gun. Is it showing up on camera how big that thing is? Look how big that thing is. And he can hold that with two hands. And that is how it looks. Way better than the original vintage one. Alright, so getting into the transformation here. This is kind of an interesting way to do a transformation. But we're going to fold this panel out, that in, and then this is going to go in like so, and then pop it back up. And I didn't mention this before, but this is you have to kind of pop this out. A few things when you get it out of the box. It's all really obvious what you have to do when you get it out of the box, but I guess I should have mentioned that one before. Open this up. So I do it from the front here. Fold this in. Wait. Fold this in. Fold this down, which is real strange. Make sure that's all flush. Push this up. And now there's a slot and a tab. And it's a small slot, small tab, right there for both of them, and get both of the arms into place. Then we're going to move up here to the head and pop the head up. And remember how we split it earlier? Right here to put the face on. We're going to do the same thing right here, which is strange. Fold this tab up. This is strange how they did this, but it works. It appears to be an effective way to do it. And then we're going to put the faux top on, so that's something that we're going to have to do next. So this is going to flip up and then twirl around, and then it's going to go into place like so. And then we're going to get to working on the legs. So folding these pieces here down and this down. And then, let's see here, we're going to fold this parallel. So these pieces came down, that's parallel. And then this is going to come out. And then we're going to open these little tabs up right here. And one thing I didn't mention was how much die cast is in this guy. There is quite a bit, like every FansToys. I mean, it's kind of something we've grown to expect from FansToys. We have to pull this on the slider, and then it's going to rotate around. So that is cool. I mean, it's not the first time we've seen that type of a transformation piece, so that is not new at all. All right, let's get down here in on the foot. Okay, so we're going to do a few things with this leg. We want to get this up here and just mostly out of the way for now. And then we're going to untab this piece here and flip this all up out of the way daintily. Alright, and then we need to secure this foot, so we're going to untab the heel spur piece and bring this foot out, bring this down. This here is going to be the handle, so bring the handle out and try to keep a good angle on this the whole time. And then these pieces here fold down, and then this piece folds out, so that's going to keep that area kind of secure like so. And then we're going to push this through here, get a little bit better angle on that, but that comes over this direction, and then we're going to fold all of this out, and this is going to come back around, and then this is going to fold into the tab, which I seem to have missed. Let's get it all lined up just right, and that's how that is supposed to be. And then So we're going to pull this here out, rotate this around back, and then back into this slot as gently as possible, and that's where we are with that. So then we're going to get into all of this stuff right here, which we are going to more or less try to unfold everything. There's a lot of unfolding going on. Folding that out, folding this out, folding this piece down, a small piece here out, and a lot of this is on sliders too. So fun right there. Then this here is going to pop this up and out so it can come over, and it can go over this here like so. And then, so we got that kind of tightened and cleaned up. And this is going to go, this needs to go on the inside. Let's put this on the inside. So, and this, have that clearance there before you tab that in. That's how that's supposed to go. Then this is going to come over here, and then it's going to flip around. And then in order to make the space for that, you got to close this filler piece right here. And then this is going to close down. This is going to fold out right here. I actually don't have a spudger. This is actually from a, it looks like a spudger, but it's from a nail kit. And then, anyway, it's not a spudger. This goes right here to close that up right on that side. And so we're at this point, there are sliders and stuff, so we just have it prepared to close up, prepare to close. And so we're going to work on the other side of the leg. Let me get a better angle and just repeat pretty much everything we did over there. And untie this. Now on this, I'm going to show, I think I figured out why my ankles are so weak during this transformation. I've kind of figured all of that fun stuff out. So we're going to get this up. And it's so weird doing it on the opposite side. Same thing, but the opposite side. Bring this down, and it's a little counterbalance. I'll kind of equalize that balance there. All right, so this is going to go back. This piece here needs to fold out. That piece needed just a little bit of help getting up, so there it is. And then we're going to do the same thing that we did with the foot. So get the foot out of there. And so this is where I'm guessing I have a problem with my feet. This is supposed to be more foot support. That's what that is. So that is all about foot support. And I didn't have foot support in place on mine, so it'll be much more stable, which I wasn't horribly unstable without it, but that should add a little air of stability to it. All right, so get this, fold this over and around, and then collapse this onto here. Close that up. Flip this around. Flip this other piece here out. This is going to go all the way in. All the way in. And then this is going to come and close. Well, this actually closes at the end. All right. So, remembering from the other side, hello from the other side there, what all did we do? And we pulled this out, and then we folded this up and over, but got to fold this piece in first. It's going to collapse in with that. This all needs to line up. Moving back here to the back, push this down, and then this is going to collapse onto here. Right. And we're going to be able to do all this other good stuff. Oh, flips around like that. Then we have to unfold everything like we did before. On the other side. Is that all of that? And is there another panel? Is that all the panels it's got? Okay. And then, so this is all open, ready to go. This needs to close off right here. Tab all that in. Then we can start with the closing of things. Okay, so fold it up and over, and then we're going to get all of this stuff tabbed in as we're going through it. It's funny too, because this does kind of give you some room to work with it a bit, and then tabs into there, tabs into here. We will tighten it up just a little bit here in just a little bit. That is a challenge. That little tab right there is a challenge. I wonder if I get to it from the back side and just push it back out a bit. Yeah, just a challenge on that one. That's nice that there's a slider right here, so you can adjust that, make that look tighter. That is tighter. Doesn't just look tighter, it is tighter. And then we're going to do the same thing with this other side. Make sure the other side, everything is still tabbed in and ready to go for the folding over process. And we've got the head in the way, or not in the way, but it's a concern of mine. And then the back piece also is a concern. So there's just a lot more going on this side, all at the same time. I should put the toy head on because I'm not going to be displaying the toy head. Or taking the head off entirely. That's also an option if you wanted to do that. And then this all sort of is working out pretty good. And then you can use your fingernail file cleaner thing to get in here. All right, next up we have got to do the handle. So we straighten the handle out on both sides, and then somewhat reminiscent of the original G1, fold this all out and then connect it. So a little bit of pressure there, and it's important so that it makes it look more straighter-ish. And then come around here. I'm not sure why it's not as straight. It should be a little straighter than that, but I got it connected good. And then you fold this panel down and pretty much call it a day. I think that's everything. Maybe there's a tab here, tab right here, and a tab there that I need to tighten up, but that's pretty much it. Let's take a look at it. All right, so here it is in the alt mode, and I think it looks great, actually. It looks pretty good, and it's kind of impressive. It's a lot of steps to get here, but it's still impressive. And I really don't feel like I scratched any paint. We'll find out on the way back. But yeah, it looks pretty good overall. That's not bad. It's a solid, definitely a solid alt mode. I kind of feel like I could mess with this a little more and get it a little more straight, a little more perfect, but that's pretty close, pretty good. And so with that, there is some detail on the sides, and of course that carried through. And this is so reminiscent. This really is the feet, and on the G1 the feet fold down. Here are the speakers, which I think is it a faux speaker? It's the original front, just re-maneuvered around. Is that how it was? And then you do have this that pops open. You can put a cassette in there. I'm not going to mess with that feature, but it's a thing. And then there'll be a gold one you can buy separately to put on there, which I'll figure out that swap process when the time comes. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed. I like the way it looks. Let's get into some comparisons. Right, so really the only thing that makes sense for comparison is comparing it to other cassette decks, some outdated technology, which I absolutely love outdated technology. I don't know about you, but this is the Takara. And so when I got the acoustic wave, I put Takara into the alt mode and said I'm going to keep Takara in alt mode for videos such as this. So as you can see, this is much cleaner than what Takara did. Of course, Takara's years ago. It has the weapon storage. I don't know if there's a place for weapon storage on this, but looks good, and they look great together. Fantastic. And the acoustic wave also looks really, really good. Then next we're going to bring in the G1, and more than just looking at them side by side, I just want to show how many things feel like it's the same. You literally fold the legs around the same way, although this does include faux parts, but that's how it looks so clean. The feet are still actually the feet, even though it transforms in like a 6-step process there. And then these are tucked on the side of the G1, and they're tucked on the side of FansToys. I just think that's really cool, paying an homage like that. It's pretty awesome. So this is my look at FansToys Recorder, and fast forward, I think that it's a very good set. I mean, FansToys never really disappoints so much. I think that he looks really good in both modes, and my nitpicks are very small, but the pluses outweigh it with the beautiful paint job that it has and the aesthetic. It sort of hits the real world tune combination still in 2023, not hyper tune, but got a foot in it. But with the shoulders being a little bit low, not really a big fan of that. And then that's about it. A little shorter than the Deformation Space. Deformation Space is a solid one, but I think this one etches it out just a little bit in those fine details that FansToys always does, and of course the heft and the die cast and all that kind of stuff. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe. To here and hang around.
All right, cover your receptors, Perceptor. Optimus Prime, do you read me? The Decepticons are blitzing Autobot City. We're really...
Do you think you got through to Prime?
Let's hope so, because if I didn't, we're all gonna look like burnt-out toaster ovens.